Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
And today we are talking about our favorite YouTube channels, our favorite podcasts, basically anything that you can adjust online, I guess, that we visit regularly. I don't know. What the hell am I talking about? Let's just start the damn conversation. Screw you guys. I see you laughing.
We were laughing with you?
No, you weren't.
Circle gets the square.
Right, yeah. So, no real structure to this. Let's just talk and see where the conversation takes us. Joe, you seem to start things off for us, so why don't you start off with some of your favorite thingies?
My favorite podcasts and YouTube channels. And of course my phone starts messing up. So I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I basically just listen to podcasts on my commute.
Right, yeah.
45 minutes. So
yeah.
I'm very into quick bits.
Yeah.
But the ones that I do listen to are Design Life podcast with Charlie Prangley and Femke van Schoonhoven.
Wow.
Bless you.
Butchering that. I'm sorry. But it's a podcast about design and side projects for motivative creators.
Nice.
And,
very cool.
They each have their own YouTube channels too, so I obviously watch them on YouTube. Yep. But yeah, it's just a lot about just graphic design, what your workflow is like, what things that you use, like sorry,
the different tools that they use to design stuff, their Photoshop filters, all their fun fonts and whatnot, I'm assuming.
And
cool.
Yeah, so that, and also the Witch Wave podcast from Pam Grossman, which is a podcast for bewitching conversation about magic, creativity, and culture.
Wow.
Nice.
Which is just basically talking with different occult people and talking about witchy stuff.
That's cool.
And then obviously the whole Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
Multiverse.
Yeah. So, no, he's on my list as well. Yeah. I don't it's like every once in a while I'll remember, oh crap, I got to catch up on Rogan stuff.
Yeah, that's one we have in our shop that I work at, kind of just playing all the time, is either Rogan, the Church of What's Happening Now, Joey Diaz, either like the Burt Kreischer, Bill Burr, the Bill Burr podcast, or Your Mom's House with Tom Segura. So just any one of those is kind of always playing at some point.
Nice.
Cool.
And for YouTube, kind of the same, like design YouTubes like Charlie's or Femke's. Ron Segal runs a YouTube channel called Flux that is his personal vlog. It's a design entrepreneur, just kind of sharing his journey and lessons and stuff, and building his career as a design and business owner, which listen to that. And one that is really strange, Bolter is a show. It's YouTube/AVE, but Bolter is the show that he runs. It's Board of Lame Tool Reviews. It's this Canadian guy who basically takes shop tools, takes them all apart, shows you how they run, puts them back together, and shows you how if they're well made or chintzy or whatnot. But he's really, really, really funny because he's Canadian and just says weird shit like skookum is his word for when shit's built structurally sound and right.
Uh-huh.
And it's like...
Wait, skookum's a good word?
Wow. So does he do this with like different brands of stuff, so you know, like you're getting a good product?
Yeah, like he takes like, and he'll be like, oh, here's the Milwaukee grinder versus the DeWalt grinder, and how are these different? And here's like, okay, this is ABS plastic from China that sucks, or,
Yeah.
it's like he breaks it down, but he makes it fun. Because you know me, I'm not a girly girl, but I'm still a girl. And I'm like, how am I sitting here watching this tool breakdown video and having a blast because it's fun? And it's
because you're married to Ken Myers. That's why.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout
Hey,
out,
Ken.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I've got. And also obviously like Nerdist, Modcast, and Welcome to Night Vale.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I got.
How? Okay. So, and this just for reference, how much of your week, or how much of your day would you say you spend on like YouTube or listening to podcasts aside from your commute?
So I don't listen to podcasts very much at work, but
Uh-huh.
I do look on YouTube for stuff and watch YouTube things, and obviously that kind of reflects like most of my YouTubes are design related, and
Right. Yeah.
I use it more as a tool to learn things as opposed to entertainment.
Sure. Okay.
And pretty much aside from that, I just like most of my YouTube actually is just music. Like I'll throw it on and have it running for music. Like I'll just put on
Right, and it's just basically popular music.
and have it just kind of go from there.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Nate?
You sure you want me to go second? Last time I think I kind of ruined some of your reveals there.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll have some overlap just because we are of a very similar mindset, but I don't know. I'm sure there will be some that I may bring to light that you don't. And I mean, and I'll chime in if you bring up something that I'm going to use. So yeah, I don't know. I'm cool with it.
Roger. Okay. I'll go. Let's do the podcast thing first. No, let's do YouTube stuff first. So
Okay.
I like the question that you asked, Joe. How much of your day do you spend on YouTube and podcasts? I think the commute time should count because you're still consuming it, especially with podcasts. Please don't consume YouTube on your commute, you crazy sons of bitches.
Very true.
I saw somebody reading a newspaper in their commute the other day, and okay, don't do that. And if you do that, then maybe YouTube, but don't do YouTube or read the newspaper or a book or whatever. Just
eyes on the road, people.
Yeah, focus
eyes on the road.
Yeah, use your ear holes. Focus and use your holes.
Important safety tips by Nate Tuzzy. Thank you very much, Nate. Yeah,
let's get my OSHA sticker on my hard hat on here. Anyway, so YouTube, I spend a lot of time on YouTube and podcasts during the day. I listen to podcasts pretty much my entire day that I'm not in meetings. So depending on the day, I mean, at least I'd say 4 hours a day, maybe podcasts, depending.
Okay.
Lately, it haven't been like that because it's been crazy busy, but.
Yeah. So, all right. So when you get to work and you open up your stuff, what's the number one? What do you go to first?
Well, I was going to go to do my YouTube stuff first because the podcasts need a little more explanation, I think. But
okay,
I actually listen to podcasts on my commute also.
Okay.
And, well, I guess maybe podcasts make the most sense because that's what I start my day with. So let's do podcasts first.
Okay.
I have a lot. So if you can see my phone, it's, Pocket Cast is my preferred app. It has little tiles and everything. And basically it's a 4x12 tile system that's full of icons. So
there are a great many tiles.
Yeah, I don't.
Right now.
Right, yeah. I don't listen to all these actively anymore. Something like the Adam Carolla Show used to be my all-time favorite podcast. I listen to it every day. That show has turned kind of too political to be entertainment as much as I want it to be.
Sure.
He's lost a lot of guests because of stuff that he said, and I'm all for free speech and comedy and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't really like supporting things that support things that I'm against. So
Gotcha.
that little political message aside, I still do dip in there once in a while when he has guests on that I really want to hear, because those people are kind of icons in the comedy community that you don't hear in a lot of places. He is one of the most popular podcasters in the history of podcasting, so he does get guests that other people won't get. Thankfully, some of these other podcasts now are starting to get a lot of traction, like the surprisingly successful and amazing listen, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. So
nice.
Dax Shepard from Jackass. He's married to Kristen Bell. He was in Chips and a bunch of other amazingly silly movies. The guy it's a similar analog to Joe Rogan, where when you actually, you know them for their public persona, right? And unless you've actually read a book that they've written or you've listened to them talk about subjects they're passionate about, you don't know how kind of deep these guys are and how intelligent they are and how well read they are in areas that really kind of do it for them. And it's really, Dax, his conversations are super relaxed and laid back, but he's not afraid to ask the hard questions. But it's basically like if you were interviewing a friend you hadn't seen in 5 years. Like, it's a really, really great podcast. His co-host, Monica Padman, I haven't really seen her in anything else, but she is an amazing kind of voice of reason, third chair person.
Nice.
Does a great job contributing to the podcast, but then at the end, the guest leaves and she actually fact checks Dax on all of his bullshit.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, it's a really cool dynamic, and I suggest anybody has a chance to definitely take a listen.
Well, and and that's good that you say that too, because usually my sort of where I know Dax from is, sure, I know that he's married to Kristen Bell, but yeah, I've only seen him in sort of scripted things. I haven't really seen too many interviews with him. And the one interview that I did see with him on Conan, he is a super smart, just like, totally kick back, chill kind of guy. So no, that's good. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. And so I'll just feed into Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan Experience. I've been listening to him for years. I have 1,500 archive podcasts from him. So there's a lot to go on there. I don't listen to everything he does. He's very prolific, actually. So I kind of pick and choose. If there's a UFC fight I'm really into, I'll listen to his. He does a pre-show and a post-show kind of thing. He does a lot of interviews with UFC talent and UFC figures. He gets a lot of great comedians on there. Like, he just, on the 3rd of February, he did one with Jim Norton that was absolutely hysterical, like guffaw type laughter. Just really, really good.
Science ones he does.
Yeah, he does.
He gets like the random or just he gets really in depth with like scientific people.
Yeah, dark matter, and he actually enjoys engaging with kind of the fringe sciences too, like conspiracy theory and flat Earth.
Those are the ones I listen to the most from him.
Yeah, he calls them out on their being crazy bullshit, and talk about somebody not afraid to call somebody out. Joe Rogan will let you know how he thinks.
Well, and the cool thing too is also he's not afraid to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're way above my head.
Yeah, he comes off as very genuine, and just, he's not going to bullshit you. And he's also a huge gearhead and loves Porsches and cars and stuff like that. So I love Joe Rogan Experience. It's going to always be on my playlist. A couple of quick mentions for the comedy ones. WTF with Mark Maron. I used to listen to that religiously, not so much anymore, just because I don't have as much time. And then Fitzdog Radio is Greg Fitzsimmons, also a great stand-up, super successful, very hilarious. Came from that whole Boston group with Rogan.
Cheers.
So exactly. One of my favorites after the Nerdist podcast went away when Hardwick sold it was the ID10T podcast with Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
So also very good. Not as prolific as it used to be, but when it's on there, it's pretty great. Fat Man Beyond, which used to be Fat Man on Batman, is Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin.
Right.
And this one crosses over to YouTube also, where it's, you lose a lot by not watching it. Same with Joe Rogan. You lose a lot by not watching it because the faces and the stuff they talk about. And I mean, Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan on YouTube together is
amazing.
I mean, stone cold sober, it's hilarious. If you're in any mood that has been altered, it is the funniest shit you've ever seen. Some great stuff to do both on podcast and YouTube if you have a chance. So another comedy one, You Up with Nikki Glazer. So she's one of my favorite stand-ups working today. She's super successful in all these roasts that have come out in the last 5 years. Just absolutely kills everybody. Doesn't pull any punches. She's amazing. So her podcast is actually a best of the week of her SiriusXM show, which is on in the mornings on the comedy.
Oh, cool.
on the Comedy Central comedy channel. I should know this. On Sirius XM. So check her out on the daily. It's great, but the weekly podcast roundup is absolutely hilarious. Only a few more here, I think. Star Talk Radio with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Science, pop culture, and comedy collide on Star Talk Radio. The guy is amazing. He's a science rock star and can basically talk science to anyone. He uses pop culture references to explain things. It's amazing.
Oh, cool.
His guests are pretty great too. I just listened to the one he did with Olivia Munn and so on Monday. So it's basically talking about what a geek is and how it pertains to science and growing up and that kind of thing. So definitely worth a listen. I think I've mentioned it a few times before, but I've rediscovered my inner geek, so D&D stuff. So I've been listening to a couple podcasts. One is called Greetings Adventurers, used to be known as Drunks and Dragons before they started getting ad revenue. So the lesson for us, potentially, we may have to rename the podcast.
Ding.
They've been going on for maybe 8 years together, 7 or 8 years, doing an ongoing D&D campaign where they're all on Google Hangouts. Everyone's got their headphones on and mic'd up and doing basically as live as you could be from several areas across the country D&D campaign. It's absolutely hilarious and irreverent. They didn't know what the hell they were doing when they started, and they basically learned as you go. And these characters are now like level 20 demigod characters basically, but they're super hilarious. And hijinks ensues, and they're drinking and stuff. It's really fun. Those same people do a podcast called Dear Internet, where they basically go on Reddit and find questions from r Ask a Manager and r Am I the Asshole?
Oh God!
And talk about them on the show. And
send that to I'm on Reddit a lot.
The show notes are the show where we answer questions that you would only dare ask the internet, and that's the perfect one-sentence description of what their podcast is. Super funny. And then what's the other one? Glass Cannon podcast. These guys started a Pathfinder podcast a long time ago. So Pathfinder is basically the spin-off of D&D 3.5, which is insanely number crunchy, optimize everything to the nth degree. There's hundreds of variations of every character kind of thing. But it's also one that's really fun. There's a couple others that I wanted to mention, and I don't want to forget them. Half Hour Happy Hour is now Half Hour Happy Hour, ladies. It's Allison Hayslip and Maud Garrett, and then Tom Krajewski is their third, and it's hilarious. It comes out every Monday, so it's what I start my Monday mornings with in the shower or whatever.
Nice.
Super funny, great stuff.
Drunksmiths is always a good time.
And Drunksmiths, they do 12 days of Drunksmiths all in one day, half-hour shows with guests. People send in food and booze, and they're drinking the whole time. So by the 12th day of Drunksmiths, it's sloppy and hilarious. And then I wanted to shout out, obviously, Run and Regret. I can't get enough of our own podcast. I think that makes me a super narcissist, so I'll move on. And then also I wanted to shout out to Grognostics, which is our buddy Steve McDivitt's. Yeah, so it's basically where craft beer meets the unexplained is their descriptor. And I haven't listened to it as much as I wanted to. He keeps asking me to come on, and we're going to make it happen, Steve. Keep inviting me, but keep making some good pods.
We'll do a Grognostic and Regret.
Ooh, a little crossover event. I like that.
Oh, I like it.
In the vein of the superhero stuff. We could do.
We exist in the same universe.
We do. Yeah. Flashpoint or wait, no, Crisis. We do exist in the same universe. We're actually in the Crisis, I think, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, currently.
Yes. Crisis ends in November. Moving on.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so YouTube. I'll make this one short because that was lengthy podcast talk. So YouTube, there's a guy. His YouTube name is Tulok the Barbarian. That's the channel name, and he builds pop culture figures using D&D rules. So like if you ever wanted to play Iron Man in D&D, he tells you how to do it. He just did a bunch of anime stuff like My Hero Academia, and he did was it Dash Ketchum or whatever the guy Ash Ketchum, yeah. Whatever the fuck it is. Thor, like a bunch of pop culture stuff, and he does one twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's amazing and just super nerdy. So that's advanced nerddom right there. It's when you're like, oh, I like Iron Man and I like D&D. Let's make Iron Man and D&D. So good stuff. I don't think I have any other D&D stuff. I'll try to kind of bunch these together. So video games. I used to play a lot, so I actually watch more video game YouTube stuff than I do really play it now. So I wanted to call out a couple of those. So Skill Up. This guy is probably...
Oh, that's a great channel.
Yeah, he's probably the most complete YouTube game reviewer I've ever seen. He actually scripts out his reviews. He offers them to for different tiers in his Patreon, where it's actually a produced like manuscript with illustration and that kind of thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he takes a lot of time. Him and his brother are on there, and they also have a sister channel. Oh shoot, now I can't remember what it's called. They also have a sister channel which is very irreverent and not as kind of formed and pre-planned out as the Skill Up reviews are, but
we'll include that in the show notes.
Yeah, exactly. Super thoughtful, and really one of the guys that made me want to do something in that arena. So I'm still working on that, but yeah, just amazing stuff. Along those lines too, Eric's Gaming, AREKKZ, shout out. He's a bald ginger from somewhere in the UK. And so he's got the accent and the bald face, ginger beard. That's his, or bald head, ginger beard. That's his thing. Has been doing YouTube reviews for a long time. Started out, I think, with Destiny 1 way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Before that, and has been covering a bunch of stuff like that. And Monster Hunter is one of his big things. Just really fun reviews. He's super into it. Kind of your average everyday player, but now he's made it kind of big in that arena. So he's sponsored and has he has a separate channel that puts out content every day with other guys. He's actually elevated a bunch of his friends to have their own stuff, and it's really cool. So tech side, I watch Your Average Consumer a lot, which I'm not exactly sure where he's located, but he's definitely not Your Average Consumer anymore, because you can tell by the stuff that he owns and gets given to him. But he does a lot of random challenges, like him and his wife go to Best Buy and see the coolest stuff they can get for $1,000 each, kind of thing. Or he reviews the best tech backpack of 2019, or this is my go-to, game room setup for 2019. Just really well done reviews, really cool stuff, really well thought out. Flossie Carter is the other one of the other main tech ones that I watch a lot for cell phones and that kind of thing. This guy's been around forever. He is fucking hilarious in his delivery, and his name is Flossie Carter. So just imagine if E40 did tech reviews, but was super knowledgeable about them, and also had a cat called White Shoes that he shouts out when the cat's in the videos. It's hilarious. So you have to go and watch these. Very well produced. He's just really knowledgeable about everything that he reviews, and it's just really enjoyable watches. Star Wars Theory. So off of tech onto Star Wars. This guy made a Vader short film that got shut down by Disney, basically, because it was so good and getting so much traction. So I'm hoping he's going to get some kind of job or something with Lucasfilm. He is just insanely talented and one of the biggest Star Wars uber fans you'll ever meet. Definitely check him out if you have a chance, Star Wars Theory, and definitely watch the Vader short that he made. It's amazing. So Nerdist, obviously, all of us have been in the Nerdist realm for a long time.
Yeah.
All the people that are still with Nerdist are just amazing to watch.
I feel like that's kind of why we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So College Humor, got to shout them out for the funny. Definitely go there and check that stuff out. It's not safe for work for sure, but it's really funny. And then I just wanted to end that up with Sam the Cooking Guy. So I'm going through the midlife thing, 42-ish, whatever, and not cooking as much as I wanted to. Found Sam the Cooking Guy on YouTube, and it's really got me back into cooking again. His recipes aren't complex. The videos are anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. It's all stuff you can make really quickly, and he just hit 1 million subscribers recently.
Oh, wow.
Super knowledgeable. He has 2 restaurants in San Diego, and basically his son is his camera guy, and just does most of his stuff from his awesome backyard in San Diego, showing you how to make amazing food that's super easy to make and super flavorful. And I can vouch for everything he's done, like that I've made tomato sauce and meatballs and, scratch made everything. And it's the way to go. So combine that with what is it, Amazon Now, where you can get groceries delivered from Whole Foods in 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
So I watch that at lunchtime. Oh, that's something I'd like to make. Order the food. It's at my house when I get home. Make it, and boom. So, Sam the Cooking Guy, good stuff.
Nice.
Oh, so the last thing, Sam the Cooking Guy has the best shirts. So he Make America Cook Again is his thing, as he likes to say. It's not political, but of course you get the reference. But his best one is, if fat means flavor, then I'm fucking delicious. And I'm going to end on that. So
Nice.
Right.
Excellent.
Over
Cool.
to Andy.
Yeah. All right. Well, my YouTube and podcast consumption. Well, first let me sort of clarify. So yeah, like Joe, I don't listen to a whole lot of podcasts. Mainly just a couple that I actually catch on YouTube, but I don't actually use an app to subscribe to any podcast, believe it or not, except for ours. just so I know the experience, and if anyone has an issue, I can troubleshoot it, whatever. Anyway, so but a couple of the podcasts that I do listen to, one is the Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville.
Oh, nice.
And he just gets a bunch of people on that are actors, and he's a very sort of candid sort of interviewer. And it's obviously there's a ton of podcasts out there, but a lot of these guys do it, but just his knowledge of the business. And the first one that caught me was when he had Tom Welling on, and they were just going back and forth about Smallville and just sort of all the all the things that happened on that set. It was just really cool. And then obviously Smodcast, which I've listened to forever, and anything that Kevin Smith does, I usually consume it in some way, shape, or form. So in terms of YouTube, I'm pretty much on YouTube all day. Some for my job, but mostly just sort of to have some background noise as I'm working. And I'm going to break this down into a couple of different sort of sections. So I have music YouTubes, which I go to just to listen to music. And, obviously there are the big bands out there that you just sort of catch up and listen to. But I love ingesting sort of indie bands' covers of popular music. And one, they've been around forever, Walk Off the Earth. They're a Canadian band, and I'm sure you've seen some of their videos. They just do really, really good stuff. Another band that I've just started to get into, they release a new cover every Thursday on their channel, but First to 11 is just a really good band, and they put together some really, really good covers of stuff. And there will be times where I kick on one of their videos, and before I know it, I've gone through 20 of their covers, just from stuff that I'm working on. Cheers, Nate. Cheers.
Thank you. I tried to make it quiet. Sorry.
That was okay. And then there's a channel that I've been watching forever, Watch Mojo, which does basically a bunch of lists. So your top 10 lists of, they also do sort of a things you should know about certain movies coming out. And they're
trailers too, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And then How It Should Have Ended for movies.
I can't believe I forgot the hizzy. Damn it.
Yeah. Just their villain and superhero cafe.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really fun. And then Cinema Sins. Man, just everything wrong with. And now they're doing TV shows too, where they do some of the bigger TV episodes. Just that guy's voice who does it, and the writing on there is great. And that's a channel that just never ever gets tired for me.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I haven't heard of Cinema Sins before.
Oh, dude, Cinema Sins.
Oh my God! Yes, Google or YouTube search everything wrong with, and it'll come up, and there'll be a movie. I'm sure they'll do Infinity War, and you'll love.
Yeah, there's several things wrong with that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you'll see how they're sort of mind works. But like one of the sins, and he'll count all the sins, and so you'll see. But one of the common sins throughout the movies is scene does not contain a lap dance.
They love showgirls then.
Right. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
But it's funny. It's really good. Along those lines, sort of in the pop culture, TV sort of thing, obviously, and I've referenced Charlie a lot. Emergency Awesome is just fantastic. He breaks down movies, he breaks down TV shows. He'll do non-spoilery reviews, he'll do spoilery reviews, where he breaks down all the Easter eggs in it. And I mean, this guy's just fantastic. He broke down The Mandalorian. He broke down every episode of The Mandalorian, which was great. He broke down Game of Thrones until the bitter end, which was fantastic. And he's well read, so he'll reference stuff that happens in the books versus what happens in the TV shows. So that's, I've subscribed to a bunch of stuff on YouTube, but he was one of the first channels that I ever subscribed to.
Can I second that? I didn't put it on my list on purpose because I knew you'd have it on yours.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal anything because you're the one that brought it to me. And yeah, one of the best things on the internet. And super prolific too. He puts out a ton of content.
He really does. Yeah. And he does giveaways with every video too, which is cool. So all you have to do is leave a comment on his videos and he'll give you like a $20 Amazon gift card or a flash ring, depending on what you're watching. He'll do a themed giveaway with that, which is cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Another channel that does a lot of pop culture review is What Culture. These guys are across the pond in England, and they're just a super, super funny channel. They review wrestling, but they'll review all the big movies. They're doing a Picard episode by episode breakdown now. And they'll do their top 10 lists, but they'll do it in a way where it's the staff's sort of top, movies, like a movie that messed you up as a kid. They'll just interview the staff and say, oh, hey, and they're really fun. They're really well produced videos, and they're a lot of fun to watch. And it's a good group when I started watching What Culture, it was what I would like ultimately our podcast to become. If we ever got off our asses and wanted to expand into video and more so, and try to make like a living out of this. Another channel that deals with pop culture stuff is Looper, which is okay. They don't put out a whole lot of videos, or maybe just ones that come up in my feed just are more tailored to me. But again, they do a lot of sort of movie reviews, a lot of breakdowns, sort of like a stuff you missed in this movie, which is nice. And then one that I just started getting into, which is great. And so I've been getting into a lot of reaction videos. So videos of people watching videos, which I don't know if I'm depressed saying that out loud or not.
That's a very Inception type thing.
Right. Yeah. So Fine Brothers Entertainment, or FBE, is a channel where they get a lot of YouTubers to watch sort of videos on the internet and give them challenges like, don't try to watch this and not smile, or try to watch these music videos and not sing along. And it's just it's funny because you see a lot of these people that you watch on YouTube watching YouTube videos, and they're just it's just funny. It's good. They're well produced, they're put together, and it's a lot of fun.
That sounds like a Black Mirror episode. Like
almost
starts and then something goes horribly wrong.
Well, because like most of the reaction videos I watch are like the horror reaction videos of
right.
These people are watching Cannibal Holocaust for the first time, and look what they reacted.
I would like to add though, watch Kevin Smith's reaction videos to things that he loves. Like when this trailer for Rise of Skywalker came out, he was crying.
Oh man!
Like I fucking love how much he loves shit.
Right?
It's so amazing. Yeah, the world needs more of that.
Yeah. No, that's true. And then this is a channel that I just recently got into, but this is Collider Crew, and it's a group of visual effects artists that will watch and react to good and bad CGI.
Ooh, okay, I want to watch this.
Did they do cats?
I don't. Well, they mentioned cats on one video, and this was as the trailer came out.
I want to
But
see Cats 2019 versus or 2020, which
Right.
versus Cats in 1998.
yeah, the one that brought me in was they reacted to the Scorpion King.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was good. And then it's cool too because they've gotten big enough to where they have some of the people that worked on the movies come in, and they will try to guess how it was done, what specific method, and then they do challenges too where they try to recreate certain scenes and certain things that you see in movies just in their little shop, and they're fun guys that they're youngish, they're like late 20s early 30s, but they're totally relatable, and it's just a fun group to watch. Like I can imagine watching movies with these guys and just totally ripping it apart or just saying, oh my god, how was that done? So that's essentially my list, which is a lot.
I have one that I thought of that I kind of like. I can't believe I skipped out on this one. Bad lip reading.
Oh yeah.
Anyone?
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 Come on. You guys have seen that channel, right?
Oh yeah.
Seagulls Stop It Now. Like
Oh
from
yeah,
Papa,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they like take pop culture TV and basically put weird lyrics to actual like what they're doing with their mouth, and it's hilarious. Just check it out. It's so funny.
Yeah, there's a couple I forgot to mention too. First We Feast does the Hot Ones challenge. They have movie stars on with 10 different strengths of hot sauces, and they're eating wings while they're interviewing them.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at the one they just released, has Will Ferrell on it. 2.7 million views from 11 hours ago.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
It's fucking hilarious because you have everybody across the... Thanks, Joe. I would love one. Everybody across...
All out.
I did sensuas on the live networks. So it's hilarious. Just people from all different walks of fame basically on this show getting interviewed while they're eating hot wings, and the host is actually showing like the Scoville scale as it's going up to over 100,000, then passing 500,000, and then you're in several million units, and these people are like, holy fuck, what are you doing? Like just swearing their ass off when they would normally not be that person.
Oh yeah.
Super funny. And then I really screwed up about a lot of this 3D printing stuff I've been doing. So 3D printed tabletop, there's a bunch of 3D printing channels that I don't have all their information, but if there was ever a hobby that you can excel at just by watching YouTube videos, it's 3D printing. There are so many people that have spent so many hours fine-tuning settings based on specific print types and resin consistency and this, that, and the other thing. I won't bore you with the details, but that community is insanely strong. You can find out how to print anything. Like there's one guy just printed a full-size Mandalorian helmet in one shot off of a resin.
Oh,
print.
wow.
The printer is so huge, the printing bed is big enough to do a full Mando helmet. And then he shows how he preps it and fills it and paints it, and it's just, runs electrical through it, and it's amazing. The other one is the oh god, it's not Hero Forge. What is it called? Man at Arms Reforged, where they make pop culture weapons but actually forge them. So like there'll be a Kill Bill episode where they actually create all of the tools like Japanese blacksmiths would have done, and create the ore from scrap like they would have done, and go through that whole thing. It's fucking amazing. And there's a huge back catalog of this stuff.
Like Forged in Fire, but nerdy.
It's so good. Definitely go through it. And I think that's it for my honorable mentions that I forgot.
Okay. Oh yeah. One music channel that I forgot was Postmodern Jukebox.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So what they do is they take pop recent songs and then give them a sort of an old timey twist. They'll do like a 20s cover. Yeah. So like right now, one of their latest videos was Your Love from the Outfield, which is a great classic song from the 80s that, is just, it's really done. They get some great singers on there. And it's a channel that whenever they put out a video, I'm watching it. So
yeah, it's a really cool channel, and it's very specific with the way they address the music too. Like they'll say it's Thriller but 1920s swing, or
right,
that kind of thing in the title. It's amazing. Yeah. Really worth it.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? Is that a good?
I gotta do one last shout out. She hasn't put it out a lot lately, but because she's doing Twitch stuff. But Meg Turney is another one I follow on YouTube, and she's a cosplayer, model, does gaming, and she's just delightful and adorable, and I love her to death. So
nice.
Shout out to Meg Turney.
Nice.
Shout out to Layman Gaming. That's Skill Up's irreverent channel with his bro.
Okay.
Layman Gaming, Laymen Gaming on YouTube. Really funny stuff. Just a great time in general. They cover mostly newer games, things that are pre-release type stuff, but they talk about all their experiences at different game conventions and that kind of thing too. So super funny.
Cool. Yeah. Now, are there channels, and I got to ask this question, are there like channels or videos that sometimes you guys watch that aren't necessarily in your wheelhouse, sort of a guilty pleasure channel, if you will?
Guilty pleasure channel.
Well, and let me I'll out myself for reference.
I think you might have one in the can here.
So Vogue, the magazine Vogue, has a series called 73 Questions.
Oh, that's really good. I have seen that.
Where they will ask, a celebrity 73 questions, and they'll go to their house, and I don't know, it's just a fun sort of 15-minute video of 73 questions about a person and their life and sort of what they do, and I just thought it was, I don't know, I caught a couple of them just sort of off, by accident, and then sure enough went through the entire playlist.
By accident.
Yes. Well, I caught the ones initially on accident, but then I purposely went through the entire playlist.
Yeah. So if we're gonna go that route, then yes. Occasionally, I will watch stuff from Ellen. She has some hilarious guests on there and does a bunch of jump scare stuff for people.
Oh right, yeah.
Quite a bit. But the one that I watch that is randomly coming across. Let's see, Jessica Chobot, her new channel, Alana Pierce, her gaming / kind of just opinion channel, and then Bon Appetit, the magazine, has a bunch, they have basically a test kitchen that they have a bunch of chefs in that try to recreate things like we'll make gummy bears from scratch and see how they taste and stuff like that. Super funny. But the other one that I've been watching a lot lately is Architectural Digest. They go and basically do like a contemporary nice version of Cribs.
Oh, okay.
So go through like Neil Patrick Harris's house with his partner, and it's just really well put together, and there's no bling and stripper poles and that kind of thing. But not that there's anything wrong with it. I miss Cribs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe, any guilty sort of pleasure for you, or?
No, not really. Just a lot of 80s music or how to cook cauliflower. Like I said, I kind of use YouTube more as a tool.
Oh, I have another one.
Jurassic World Evolution beginner hints and tricks.
So you're just looking at video game tips. That's not out of your wheelhouse. That's directly on the wheel in said wheelhouse.
Yeah, okay, and MC Chris Vet to Vet and Venture Brothers. Yeah.
The other one I found was Lip Sync Battle. because it's hilarious. It's that show that John Krasinski started where it's two celebrities lip syncing against each other. And
Oh yeah,
it's just hilarious, and most of them are amazing. That's something we actually had some people over after a dinner thing, and we watched those for probably 2 hours. And
oh nice,
really fun stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, what are your favorite YouTube channels? What are your favorite podcasts? Let us know in the comments. You can catch us at Facebook at Rum and Regret. You can also catch us on Twitter at rum_regret. You can catch me on the socials at Crazy Drake or Andrew Drake on Twitter. Joe, where can they get you?
At Joe Chickadee on all the socials, or joechickadee.com is my website. Nate?
Nice.
Yeah, you can find me at Avid Gamer on all of the socials, AV1D Gamer.
Nice. And before we head out, Nate, I just want to bring to your attention, I found a new rum that I love.
Yes, sir.
It is called Blackheart Rum.
Ooh.
It is really good. It's a spiced rum. It's a dark rum, and it's got like your sort of hints of caramel in it, which is just really wonderful. It mixes very well with the soda.
I thought you were about to do a pairing. It mixes well with the soda and peppered beef jerky.
No, it mixes well with Diet Coke and lime and potato chips.
Ooh,
Nice.
that sounds delightful. Who makes it? Do you know?
No, that is a good question. There is a bottle in my pantry, but I don't want to run out and get it.
I should have put you on the spot. We have Google machines in our hands.
Yes.
Let's see. So, quick announcement, hot off the wires. Apparently, Eli Roth is going to be directing the Borderlands movie, and they accidentally let that slip. How does everybody feel about that?
Well, I mean, it all depends on the cast. Yep. And obviously, I have my sort of dream cast for a Borderlands movie. Somebody put out a list, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something, but it included a bunch of cosplayers and like people who just don't have any acting chops whatsoever. They littered it with a couple of decent big name actors, but like if you're going to go, I mean, honestly, if somebody can pull out a Borderlands movie and do it right, it's Eli Roth. Yep. I mean, it's, it deserves, it's got to be bloody. It's got to be gritty. It's got to, and not take itself seriously. And so I think that he can do it.
To do that.
I'm super excited.
Absolutely. But I mean,
this is like for another podcast, I'm sure, but I'm going to leave you guys know Borderlands way more than I do. But I'm really, really stoked that you're getting your movie and Eli Roth is doing it, because I think he's going to do it justice.
It's going to be so bloody. There's going to be many exploding corpses. It's going to be amazing.
But it's going to be funny because like
it has to be.
From what I've got from the like very minuscule amount that I played those games, they're fun and they're irreverent and
it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's amazing. And the writing is killer.
Oh yeah. So,
and they've got a good story, and I'm pissed that you guys are getting a movie before BioShock.
Yeah, how do you really feel, Jobin? That's
I had to throw that in there. Sorry.
No. Well, and it's funny you say that. Is I have put way more hours into Borderlands than I have into BioShock, but I feel that BioShock would make a better movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Than Borderlands.
We're trying so hard to get it made.
Yeah, but I mean, and we can put a list together, for another podcast if we want to. But I mean, Christina Hendricks as Mad Moxie, Charlize Theron as Lilith. You throw like a Nathan Fillion in for Handsome Jack. I mean,
oh man! All right, this is let's save this. This will be next week. Let's do that.
Okay, all right, because I can go for days.
I think we're gonna call it now. Let's do next week. We'll all pick a couple movies or a couple games we want to see made into movies, and then Dreamcast it.
That's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Well done.
Thank you. I provided some value. You really love me. Callback, Blackheart Spice Rum is made by Blackheart Rum Company, wholly owned subsidiary of Heaven Hill Distilleries. I don't have a lot of history behind them, but I'm interested and can't wait to try it. It's available at Total Wine today. We're available for sponsorship, by the way.
Ding! All right. Well, thanks again for listening to the Rum and Regret podcast. We will catch you on the next round. Until then, we have spoken.
Oh my God.